Hello YouTubers, this is Gold Standard 00924 coming at you with another video. As you can read up at the title of the screen, this is basically going to be a review on the season premiere episode of Power Rangers Dino Charge. It's going to premiere on television on Nickelodeon the 7th of February, which is on the Saturday. So now apparently Nick.com posted up the full episode online just about this past Friday. So I basically took the time to watch the episode and, basically try to give out my thoughts as to how I feel about the season premiere. And overall, I really enjoyed the episode. It's great to see Judd Lin back as a story writer again. Basically going into this Dino Charge, a lot of people are very concerned after all the backlash that happened with Megaforce and, how the Legendary War turned out. And, there was just a lot of negativity going on both behind the scenes and, in fan reception as well. So, when we heard about the news that Judd Lin was going to come back to do Dino Charge, it was very interesting. A lot of people were excited, and, it was very interesting to see how things would play out. And, it was kind of like a 50-50 sort of thing, maybe the season might turn out to be a dud, or this season might not live up to expectations. Because people overhyped the same thing about Megaforce, how this was going to be a step up from Samurai, and we saw what happened, and there was just the fan reaction was just split 50-50. But so far, the first episode, with Dino Charge, obviously. So this is also going to contain some spoilers. So if you aren't comfortable with the spoilers, I might as well suggest you pause the video and basically if you're really anxious to see how the episode turned out, just watch Nick.com or Hulu or whichever website has the full episode of Dino Charge. So it's going to be probably up there for a short amount of time. So if you're really that anxious to watch the first episode, highly recommend you watching it before they start taking it down. So this is basically, like I said, I'm going to basically discuss about how the first episode played out and my overall reactions to it. So without further ado, let's just get started. So the episode's called Powers from the Past. And, and unlike a lot of other Power Rangers season premieres where they have these sort of Power Rangers that all come together and become the chosen ones, so to speak. So unlike most Power Ranger seasons, they actually only introduce two characters that would eventually become Power Rangers. And so you won't see, don't expect the whole core team of Rangers together all at once. So they're going to be introduced or earn the powers within each episode. So so this is basically going to be, so there's only two characters that become Power Rangers, but rest assured the other three characters are going to get their powers at another episode or two. So just want to kind of alert you with that. So basically it starts off with this little origin story, and basically you basically have these group of villains trying to chase the Keeper, who possesses the 12 multicolored Energems. So they're basically chasing him in outer space, and the Keeper crash lands on the prehistoric Earth, where the dinosaurs are their habitat, so to speak. And so eventually the Keeper transfers some of those Energems over to the dinosaurs. And eventually, Fury, who is one of the main villains of one of the main villains of the season, but he's kind of the Goldar of the gang. So Fury comes in. He and the Keeper have their little head-to-head battle, and it looked like the Keeper ended up getting defeated. And Fury was trying to retrieve the Energems that his team was gonna retrieve. And And it turns out, and what he doesn't even bother to realize is that the energems that he supposedly got turned out to be a detonator. So eventually, all hell's broken loose. The asteroids that Sledge had, like those the actual asteroids. Yeah, so eventually, this kind of led to this sort of meteor shower where all these dinosaurs end up getting destroyed and basically severely damaging the Earth's population and leading to the extinction of the dinosaurs. And not only just the dinosaurs themselves, but this includes the Keeper, who had crash landed on the Earth. So he pretty much accepted his fate of his death, and afterwards 65 million years elapse. We get into the present day. So so eventually Tyler, who's the first character introduced that would go on to become a Power Ranger. So he gets introduced, and basically he tries to research or track down some of the expedition hunts that his dad had made prior to his disappearance. So Tyler's out there. He's trying to basically try to uncover the mystery, trying to track down the remains of just basically picking up where his father left off. And I believe he might have been an archaeologist, although they haven't really stated in the show. But so then again, this is the first episode, so it's pretty early to tell just to what's going on. But the fact of the matter is Tyler's trying to basically do some research on some adventures that his father had been through, and you also have three other characters. You have Shelby, Chase, and Coda, and basically they both work at the museum. Shelby works as this waitress at the Dino Bite, I believe is the name. It's basically kind of like your restaurant, your sort of hangout bar, like Ernie's Juice Bar from Mighty Morphin, or Haley's Cyber Cafe from Dino Thunder. So that's the sort of hangout that they have. But I'm guessing this is also going to be like the museum, since it's part of the museum, as the Rangers' main headquarters. And so eventually Shelby goes on this expedition hunt, even though she wasn't supposed to. But eventually she was just showing that she's very adventurous, very outgoing. And eventually she discovers a containment box that that eventually this mysterious person in a cloak, who would turn out to be Fury. So so Shelby retrieves the containment box. It's believed, Fury believes that the containment box contains one of the energems that he failed to retrieve many years ago. So Shelby retrieves the box first, and eventually Tyler comes in to her rescue just when things were kind of looking pretty rough for her, and with the Fury almost sabotaging Shelby, and so basically they go at it, and it turns out that the energems were inside the box the whole time. So Fury freezes Tyler and Shelby, and they both, thanks to the power of the red and pink energems, this allows Tyler and Shelby to be defrosted from being frozen and all. So so Tyler and Shelby, they activate this sort of arsenal, like one of those gun sort of arsenals, and eventually, just when they were trying to fire Fury at it at the same time, eventually they become Power Rangers unintentionally. So I really like that whole thing, with Tyler and Shelby, have no idea who they were up against, and I just really, it seemed like their chemistry seems to be actually very natural, very organic. And so Tyler and Shelby, they morph into Power Rangers for the first time. They fight a little bit with the Fury for a little bit until they discover this this T-Rex or Megazord. So eventually Tyler and Shelby end up demorphing, and basically the T-Rex Megazord tosses Fury aside, and so Tyler and Shelby they go into Tyler's Jeep, and basically get to know one another, and why Tyler's out here near the museum and why he was doing what he was doing. So it turns out so Tyler told Shelby about his father and his exhibits, and basically that sort of thing. So that was basically how the first episode ends. So this is actually very interesting, I will say, and this wasn't even a multi-parter, which makes it even more interesting. And they're basically taking things one step at a time, which I liked. And with I don't want to talk about Megaforce again, because it's just a pretty terrible season in my opinion, and just a lot of bad stuff that happened. But Dino Charge looks up to be very promising, especially from this episode. But I don't want to get my hopes up too soon necessarily. But it does kind of show a good sign of what's to come, and laying the groundwork for some of the big events that will happen down the road. And like I mentioned, I like how the fact that they brought in these they only introduced the two Energems, that the two characters that would be Power Rangers, as opposed to introducing everyone all at once. You know what I'm saying? Like in Mighty Morphin, like when they brought Jason, Trini, Zach, Billy, and Kimberly, and they both become Power Rangers like all together. But here it was actually only just two characters that became Power Rangers. So so I really like that little twist there, that it's not just some blatant rip off of the previous season. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. And what else I want to say? I think the only downside to that episode was maybe just the CGI of the T-Rex. It kind of looked very awkward in a way, and I guess maybe like even the ADR could use some little work, especially when Tyler and Shelby were already morphed into Power Rangers. What else? And Coda, who I believe was supposed to be like the oldest of the Power Rangers, or at least soon to be a Power Ranger somewhere down the road. But yeah, so Coda is supposed to be kind of like part of the last remaining survivor of the caveman era. So yeah, basically a little bit before the earliest forms of the human era. And I'm really interested to see how Coda managed to get unfrozen despite living for so long, like for many generations. So maybe when we get to the episode where he gets his fair share of focus, hopefully Coda, maybe they'll do like some sort of flashback and maybe explain Coda's backstory, and just the whole the difficulty of trying to understand modern day society. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I just really hope they don't turn him into like a total goof, but I'm hoping that he develops and becomes like this sort of character that you want to sympathize with, and just not just used just to be a comic relief or anything like that. Maybe balance out the some of the comedy here and there, but not like shove it down your throats. But it'll be. I'm kind of curious as to how they're going to handle Coda's backstory, because they just brought him in, and maybe there's something that might have happened that maybe he might have been stuck in suspended animation, or he got encased in cryogenic ice. But so I'm kind of I'm just basically curious as to how that happened. And just those minor nitpicks aside, I really enjoyed Powers from the Past, and like I said, it's great to see Judd Lin back on the writing Power Rangers once again. So I hope he continues up to do the great work, or keep up the great work, and yeah, I look forward to some of the future episodes there. So yeah, that's really all my thoughts on Power Rangers Dino Charge. The premiere episode, Powers from the Past. If you haven't seen the episode already, I highly recommend you check it out. Or if you want to wait until Saturday and maybe DVR it if necessary, check it out for yourself. I really enjoyed it personally, but I really look forward to the second episode. So let me know what your thoughts about Dino Charge down in the comment section below. And till next time, Gold Standards User 924 signing out.